Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cadet 3rd Class Caleb DeLage. Welcome to the 28th Annual National Character and Leadership Symposium. It is my privilege to welcome you to our Warrior Wellness Hour. Colonel Matt Broncoto, Class of 1999, and Lieutenant Colonel Michaela Broncoto, Class of 2000, wanted to serve those who serve. They launched a lakeside retreat center in Minnesota called Hallbrook Farms, where they serve military spouses who have lost a loved one through military service. They strive to bring peace, healing, and connection to these individuals and provide a safe space for these survivors to be honest and vulnerable. Lieutenant Colonel Broncoto is a certified yoga instructor and was the yoga coach for the Air Force Wounded Warrior Program. She has taught yoga at corporate retreats, base gyms, and at wellness retreats across the country. Part of a strong warrior ethos is staying on top of our mental and physical wellness. For today's session, the Broncotos will be providing you with wellness tips that anyone can easily fit into a busy day. These tips include a quick and easy superfood smoothie, powered stretching, and guided relaxation. We are excited to offer this first ever mind and body break during NCLS and hope you find some takeaways to incorporate into your daily routine. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present to you Colonel Matt Broncoto and Lieutenant Colonel Michaela Broncoto.
Well, hey, Air Force Academy, we're so grateful for the opportunity to be part of your Warrior Wellness session. I'm Matt Broncoto, Class of 1999. This is my wife, Michaela, Class of 2000. We've had the opportunity to serve over 20 years. We're both currently serving in the Air National Guard. I'm currently the wing commander at the Memphis Air National Guard, and Michaela's over as the Deputy ISRG Commander in Nashville, Tennessee. And one of the things we learned when we were at the Air Force Academy is time management, and it's something that doesn't go away throughout your career. So time management is very important, and one of the things that we've always tried to prioritize, no matter what assignment we've been at, is prioritizing wellness.
So we're excited to be able to share some of our wellness hacks with all of you today, and hopefully it will help you in your peak performance and as you continue to lead the organizations that you'll be a part of. So today we're going to share with you some of our favorite smoothie recipes so that you can stay hydrated and nutrition on the go. And then we're going to share with you some warrior stretches that are great for not only your body, but also your mind and connecting body awareness and balance. And then we'll talk a little bit in our relaxation pose about how to really get some quality sleep as you continue on your journey of leadership. Thank you for inviting us. Let's get started.
So one of the things that's been a really important part of our wellness routine is smoothies. It can be as simple as a protein powder in a shaker cup, or one of the easiest ways to get your fruits and vegetables is to do a fruit and vegetable smoothie.
So we're going to talk first about our base. So again, if you can get this anywhere in the commissary or in a health food store or maybe even over at Mitchell Hall, but you can either use a coconut water, or we like to use a coconut almond milk mixture, make it a little bit more creamy. So this is one of my favorites, Califia. So I'll have Matt put in, we're going to make it 2 servings, but if you were just making 1 serving, just half this, but we'll put 2 cups in. And again, it really doesn't matter what base you're using, just something that can keep the smoothie of consistency where it's not going to ruin your blender by getting too thick. So you can also add ice. Again, you just want to make sure you have the right blender for that. The next thing we'll do is your fruit and vegetables. So I like getting these. They're already pre-packaged. They've got the greens and the berries in there. So this is an antioxidant mix. So super easy to find at the grocery store now in the frozen food section. But I also like putting in some extra vegetables because I don't know if you're like me, but they are not easy to get into my diet. So a little frozen spinach. And I use frozen fruits and vegetables just because then I don't have to put in the ice. So if you've got fresh vegetables, like you can get some spinach through the salad bar line, like use that. That works out well too. Now, additives, what you like to supplement in your smoothie. I really enjoy using a local honey. Matt just put in about a tablespoon worth, or a little more if you want to sweeten it up. But local honey is great because I've noticed that there's sometimes some allergies that when you're moving from different environments, so that can help. And it's also a natural form of sweetener, so I try to steer clear of some of the artificial stuff. I always love to sneak in some collagen. This helps keep your skin looking good, but also a protein of any sort. So there's lots of different brands. Again, you can find this at your commissary. You can find it online. We're actually big fans of Dr. Axe online. And of course, you can always add in some more veggies. They come with kale powder. You can get your vitamins in there, dump in some immunity blend, or whatever you want to put in your smoothie. But most important part is just like Matt said, keep it simple. This is something you can mix together in less than 5 minutes a day. And again, we're going to get noisy here for a second as Matt blends away. Again, maybe not wake up the roommate, but this can be a fantastic snack before a workout or after workout. It can be great for breakfast, especially if you don't have enough time on the go. Again, I like my smoothies a little thicker, kind of like a shake. And again, you can always add in your yogurt or frozen yogurt if you want to make it a little bit more of a treat. But just be careful of the sugar content. You know, smoothies have gotten a bad rap because they are high in sugar, but you know, that's where you want to just really watch what types of fruits and vegetables you're putting in there and what kind of added sweetener. But again, we hope that this is helpful. Remember too, hydration wise, you know, I'm not telling you not to drink coffee. It's a big part of the military, but if you can replace the very first thing that you drink as a beverage with a glass of water, preferably room temperature or warmed up, and with a little lemon in it, it's very good to cleanse your system, especially as you're breaking the fast at breakfast. But that also helps with getting enough hydration. Many of us are dehydrated, and of course that is going to affect our peak for performance. So keep the water flowing, keep the nutrients, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the mat here in a moment. Hello, Air Force Academy, Cadet Wing, and to all those that are joining us today for this warrior stretch session. So as we join on the mat or in your dorm room or in your living room, wherever you're at, we are so thrilled to be with you all today. This yoga stretching has really helped Matt and I when we started our active duty career right after 9/11. It just has brought us some grounding. It's helped us to build muscle strength and endurance. It also has helped us work on our balance, which helps with injury prevention. And of course, we're also going to be working on healing or strengthening some of those old injuries that you have. So as we find ourselves standing on our mats in the center, about shoulder width apart, I want us to just take a few deep breaths here, and let's be intentional about listening to our bodies today and find any areas that we need to give some new life, new energy to. Maybe we need to protect an area, and I'm going to have lots of options and modifications for us today. So if something doesn't feel right, feel free to come out of it. Our session today is for all levels, so it doesn't matter if you're not flexible at all or if you're super flexible. There's going to be something for each of you. And let's go ahead and get started. As we take a deep breath in, bending the knees slightly, inhale those arms up and exhale them out to our sides. Good, inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the nose. Focusing our breath as we warm up so that we can stretch even deeper on the next inhalation. Good. This time we're going to inhale those arms up and leave them up there. And notice where the shoulders are. Let's pull them down our backs towards the ground and create some space between our ears and the floor. Good. Reaching those fingertips though to the ceiling. Good. It's an active stretch throughout our day today. As we reach one arm down to the floor, we're going to build some heat as we look up to the ceiling and down to the floor. So think of one breath, one movement. As we inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. And again, see if you can pull those fingertips closer to the ceiling and the floor. Good. Inhaling both arms up. As we exhale, find your airplane. We bend the knees halfway. We reach those fingertips to the back of the room. We allow the top of the head to reach forward, but we're sitting back almost as if we're sitting in a squat position in our chair. Good. Our big toes are kind of our ground, but we can comfortably lift them off the ground and balance. Our knees are behind our big toes. Our hips are stacked as we sweep it through to a chair position. Now those arms are optional, so you have a lot of different choices today. You might hold here with your hands on your thighs and try to sink that tailbone towards the ground while you keep your chest lifted. You might reach those arms out in front of you. And again, Matt's gonna show you some of the more advanced moves as I show you some of the modifications. Or you can reach those arms to the ceiling in our extended chair. For those of you ready to amp it up, you're gonna go ahead and come up on the balls of the feet into a balancing chair. But remember, this is a great place to be. We're just getting started and warming up today. Comfortably breathing in every pose. Let's go ahead and return to the floor with our heels if you're in balancing chair, and let's all relax into our forward fold, straightening those legs but keeping a slight bend to not lock out our joints today. And while we're here, we're just gonna make some circles with our hands and our shoulders, as if we had paint brushes and we're painting circles on the ground, and rotating the other direction. Again, we're allowing the top of the head to face the floor. Good. Balancing back out to center. Go ahead and grab onto those elbows, and we're just gonna rock from left to right. Taking a few deep breaths in here. Balancing back up to center, rolling it up one vertebrae at a time, standing position. Remember, there's no race today, no competition. Roll those shoulders. We got to leave that at the door. Good, and standing nice and tall, shoulders up, back and down, you got it. And the palms face the forward of our mat as we spread the fingertips open and reach for the ground with those fingertips. Good, and again, creating a lot of space between our ears and our shoulders as we tip one ear to the shoulder, rotate it down chin to chest, inhale over to the other shoulder, exhale, rotating it back chin to chest. Good, let's inhale those arms up. This time, the other arm stays to the ceiling and the other to the floor, whichever one you didn't do last time. We're gonna work both sides equally as strong today. Glancing up at the fingertips and then exhaling back down, glancing at the floor. See if you can really reach those hands apart and find lengthening in the biceps and triceps, and a little stretch through the obliques as we're warming up. Inhale, find that airplane again. Exhale, halfway. Good, we should be generating a little heat in the legs because we're gonna be doing our warrior stances here shortly. As we exhale, sweep it down to our chair pose, sit back. Again, if you wanna add the extension and the balance, feel free to go there. Good, as we inhale back to a standing position, press those palms together. This is heart center. No carpal tunnel for this group today. And this can also help with our balance. Tune in here. See how your right side feels compared to your left. How about your upper half of your body compared to the lower half? Good. Take a deep breath as we inhale those arms up. Exhale this time, diving all the way down to the floor, forward fold. Allow the head and the neck to relax as you hip hinge, upper body over lower. We're gonna walk those hands up to the shins, flattening the back. Nice tabletop here. And again, lengthening the spine. As we exhale back down to forward fold. And we don't have to be racing to the floor, we just work towards it. If we have a block or even a pillow or something, we could use that right here. We should still have a slight bend in the knee as we say hello to those hamstrings as we're warming up. Good, we're gonna bend those knees a lot as you reach back up to a standing position. This time add a little back bend, so it's almost like you're rolling over a beach ball, opening up those abdominals, and exhale back center. Hold on to that beach ball in front, roll those shoulders, and turn the belly button to one side and over to the other. Good, back to center. Roll those shoulders, opening up. Again, we spend a lot of time over our computers or over our phones or driving or sitting. So we're really gonna work on opening up the chest today. This time we're gonna reach for the fingertips, maybe clasping the hands, and really pull those shoulders back and down. Taking a deep breath in here. And on the exhale, see if you can find a little bit more space, maybe away from the ears, maybe standing up a little bit taller. I always say if you do some consistent yoga stretches, you will grow in height. Good, relax those arms back down, shake it out. Good, this time we're going to find kind of your sumo squat. So your legs are stepping apart, 45 degrees maybe to the corners of your mat. Your toes are pointed, the knees follow. And we're just gonna warm up as we bend the knees a lot and reach up. So it's an inhale and an exhale. Go ahead and flow at your own breath's pace, holding in the belly button to support the lower back as you bend those knees. Very nice. This is again warming up those muscles so that we can stretch them even further. And we're building strength as we hold strong down in our sumo squat. Now those arms are always optional, so if we're protecting a shoulder, we can always work towards building as we reach those arms out to the side. Again, lengthening. I want you to notice the difference that it feels when your palms are facing to the sky versus thumbs up and palms to the floor. Good, see if you can bring that tailbone closer to the earth. Good, we're gonna reach up. Inhale, exhale, back down. Palms are up to the ceiling. Inhale up and exhale down. One more time. Holding down this time, we're gonna tip forearm to thigh and reach one arm up to the ceiling. And you have some choices here. You can take that arm and wrap it behind you to this other hip and open up, focus on opening up that shoulder. Or you can keep that hand straight above the head, or you could curve it over the ear for a little bit more torso stretch. Good, let's come back to center. Flow straightening up and exhale back down. Now focusing on breathing in our practice today is going to make it much more natural when you find yourself in those stressful situations. And last time, as we hold down, tip forearm to thigh and reach up and over on the other side. You're going to notice that one side might be a little stronger than the other. We usually have a dominant side, and that's normal. But we really want to find balance, and that's why we're going to work both sides. Your dominant side might also be a little tighter. So again, we're going to add a little bit more flexibility to those areas. As we come back to center, inhale and exhale. Inhale up, exhale down. Good, we're gonna find those hands on the hips as we bring those feet facing forward, turning the knees forward. Really watch our alignment as we work our hands towards the earth. And again, if we're not there yet, that's okay. But while you're here, let's see if we can find a little figure eight. Bending and straightening, just kind of find the boundaries of those inner groins. Opening up our hips, we tend to hold a lot of our tightness in our hip flexors as well as our shoulder blades. So it's a very good practice to open those areas up. Good, go ahead, balance back out center, tipping the head to the ground, straightening those legs, taking a deep breath in, and exhale as you bend. Inhale, straighten, top of the head faces the floor. And exhale, bend. Very nice. One more time as we straighten. And we're gonna walk those hands over to the right. Allow the head and neck to relax. Hello to the hamstring, all the way up to the glutes. You might feel this even in your lower back a bit. If you need to step in your feet, if it's a little too intense, you need to bend those knees more, you feel free to do that. Some of you might have your palms all the way on the floor. Good, we're working towards progress of just finding more space. Good, walking over to the other side. Good, and it's also great practice to work on crossing your body, doing some twisting action. Again, that kind of helps encourage our internal organs to do what they need to do, whether it's digestion, metabolism, hormone, balancing, all that good stuff. Our practice is good for that. Coming back to center as you roll it up one vertebrae at a time to a standing position. Good, roll those shoulders as you step in the feet to shoulder width apart. Good. We inhale up. As we exhale, we find our chair pose. So again, it's that squat. But this time we're gonna clasp those hands together. Some of us might choose to bring those both feet together. We're gonna do our balancing chair. And we'll take the right elbow in between the knees, or we can reach for the outer edge, turning the belly button to the side, twisting. And take notice of if your one knee wants to pop out in front of the other, we're gonna keep them in alignment. And if we need to relax the hands and just turn, we can do that as well. The goal is to keep the chest lifted and sink back into your chair. Those knees are behind the big toes. We should be able to look down and see them. Good, back to center, let's stand it up. Find that heart center again, press those palms together. And just take notice what it feels like to touch all 5 fingers together. Good. Ready for our chair, squatting down and turning to the other direction. Good, a little balancing work here. Holding in the belly button to protect the lower back. And comfortably breathing in every pose we're doing today. Back to center. Inhale it up. Add that back extension. Good, and relax back down. Rolling those shoulders. Good, we're gonna come to the front of our mat. And we're ready for our warrior stances. So we're gonna inhale that arm up. Both arms up. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down. Inhale to your tabletop, straighten that back. Exhale, forward fold. This time, step the left foot back, and we're gonna find our knee connected to the floor into our kneeling lunge. Walking yourself up, and you're gonna feel a stretch through this hamstring. If we need a little bit more padding underneath our knee, we can roll our mats up or put a blanket underneath it. We're gonna check our alignment as the knee is behind the big toe. And we're gonna inhale those arms if we're ready. Kneeling lunge. Now if this is a little much on your top of your back foot, you can always roll those toes under. Feel a good stretch through the arch. Good. And if you need a little bit more, you can walk, kind of rotate that foot forward and then sink deeper. Good. Exhaling those arms back down to the floor, straightening that front knee, lifting the toes off the floor. Feel that hamstring stretch. And we can allow the head and neck to relax as we sink down into our mats. Point those toes. Again, give those feet who do a lot of work for us some love. Top of the foot stretches. Good, as we bend that knee again and find our kneeling lunge. Inhaling those arms up above. This time finding some goalpost arms. So we're pulling those shoulders down and away. Palms face our center. And now we're gonna push those walls out for a wingspan. Good, notice how that feels in the wrist. As we tip those fingertips down towards the floor, stretch out the top of the wrist. Good, and all the way back down, framing that foot on the floor. Find all fours. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. And while we're here, we're just gonna find kind of a side to side with our hips. Maybe we'll add some figure eights. Now some modifications if your wrists are a little bit sore, and again, if we're starting to practice for the first time, we want to be mindful of that. We can replace fists for wrists, or we can come down onto those forearms. But again, just kind of adding some motion, warming up our back, our spine, our hips. Good, go ahead and balance back out. And we're gonna sink back onto those heels into our child's pose. Again, this is our resting position. Anytime you need to, you can come out of a pose and find this place. And the further out those hands are, if we walk our hands out in front of us, the more of shoulder stretch. So while we're here, we'll walk our hands over to the right. Feel a shoulder stretch through the left side. Good, walking those hands now over to the left side and feeling the stretch on your right. We can spread our knees as wide as the mat, or we can keep them closer together, back to center. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves to a modified push-up position. This is a halfway plank. And again, just making sure those hands are underneath our shoulders, good alignment. Belly button is tucked in. As we slowly lower down, you can be in a full plank, full push-up position like Matt. And then let's find our cobra. So we might have our forearms underneath us, sinking into our mats. We're stretching our abs and we're strengthening our back. And we might find a full extension like Matt, straightening those arms. When we're ready, we're going to slowly lower down all the way to the floor. Use our hands underneath us to lift the hips first and push back into that child's pose. Those hands can always come down to the heels as well, and the top of the head or your forehead can rest on the mat. Just taking a few deep breaths in here, and I really want you to think of breathing in all the way down to your diaphragm. So it's a full diaphragmatic breath. You're gonna feel those abs expand and release. Good, moving back onto all fours. We're gonna keep it moving today. As you bring that opposite knee forward, find your kneeling lunge on the other side. Inhale it up. Good, we wanna think of our hip bones as being car headlights, and they're focused in front, driving straight over our front knee. Good, see if you can sink it down a little further. We're gonna exhale those hands down to the mat, straightening out that leg. Find your hamstring stretch, lift those toes. Very nice, pointing those toes to the floor and getting the stretch on the top of the foot. Allow the head and neck to relax. Good, bending that knee a lot. As we find that kneeling lunge, inhale those arms up. Goalpost arms this time. And we're gonna reach all the way behind us, find that chest expansion. Really open up the chest and relax the shoulders down and back. If our hands aren't able to clasp yet, we could grab a towel or a band or a yoga strap, and we're working towards it. Good, remember a lot of our flexibility and our balance is a use or lose skill. If we're not practicing it on a regular basis, we will lose it. And it's something we don't want to lose as we continue to get older and as we continue to balance all the stress and excitement in our lives. Good, let's relax all the way down. Let's go ahead and step both feet forward. Find your forward fold. Roll it up one vertebrae at a time. Good. Heart center with those hands. Good, we're gonna inhale. As we exhale, find our wingspan all the way out to the side. Good, and we're gonna wrap those arms to the left, so around us, like we're wrapping a towel around us, a twist. Exhaling those arms back to wingspan and twisting the other side. Back to center. Good, as we inhale those arms up, exhale all the way down, forward fold. Inhale it up to your tabletop, walk those hands to the shins. Exhale it all the way down, forward fold, top of the head relaxes towards the mat. You might be noticing a little bit more space, so you're a little closer to the ground. Maybe some of you, your palms are already there. But again, see if you can find more space. Maybe it's lifting the hips up to the ceiling. Good, we'll step back the right foot this time, but hold it straight and find your standing lunge. So both toes, both feet facing forward on our mats. Inhale up. I'll turn this way. So in our lunge, both feet are forward, our headlights, our hip bones are facing forward. Good. We're gonna exhale those arms to our hips. And this time, check back on that back foot, turn it 45 degrees. Heel is towards the floor. And again, if we're not able to touch the heel, let's bring it in closer to us. Some of us might need to step it out, like a little further like Matt for a deeper stretch. And we're gonna turn our headlights to the side as we open up into our warrior twos. Good, holding here, we're actually gonna inhale up, straightening that front knee, and exhale, bending. Good, inhale up, straighten, and exhale, bend. One more time as we inhale up, and exhale back down. Warrior two. Good, we're gonna reach forward over that front knee, reverse it to your reverse warrior. Good, and tune in with those heels. We should have a line going down our mat, and our left heel and right heel are touching on either side of that line. Again, you have options with your arms here in our warriors. So that arm can be up to the ceiling. It could be over like a half moon, or we could relax it back down behind and reach for that hip. Your gaze might be up at the ceiling, straight ahead, or down at the floor, wherever is most comfortable for your neck. Again, remember you get to make this workout yours and whatever your body needs it to be. Good, let's relax back to warrior two. Straightening that front knee, we're gonna tip down into our triangle pose. So whatever hand is towards that knee, the other hand is up to the ceiling. We should feel this in the inner thigh, as well as our torso and into our hips. Now we could be reaching towards the floor. Some of us might be touching the floor or our palm on the floor, but again, we want to keep the chest lifted like we're sliding in between two panes of glass. And it's not a race. Again, we're just working towards progress. We might leave that hand resting on the shin or up on the thigh. We're gonna not try to put any extra pressure on those knees. The goal is to try to straighten out that front leg. Good, this time we're gonna bend it a lot. Find your warrior two. Cartwheeling those hands back to center. And we're gonna check in. We don't wanna be too far forward. That's thinking too much into the future. We don't wanna be too much in the past. We wanna be balanced right in the center in the present moment. Very nice. We're gonna turn over that front knee into our warrior one. Very nice. As we exhale those arms all the way down to the floor, we're gonna find our pyramid pose. So turn that back foot straight, step it in a little bit. You're making a pyramid with those legs, and again, a little deeper stretch for that hamstring all the way down to our calf. And relax the head and neck. Good, this time we're stepping both feet forward, line them up again. Bend the knees a lot as we reach up to a standing position, heart center. Good. Inhale, add that chair. Good. Lots of options with our arms here. As we exhale, forward fold. Allow the top of the head to relax. Shake it out a bit. And this time we're going to step back with the other foot this time, whichever one you didn't do last time, into your standing lunge. Inhale. Find your goalpost arms. Relax those hands back down to the floor and turn that back foot 45 degrees, which is automatically going to turn those hips. So let's pull those back over that front knee. Bend into your warrior one. And trying to push that heel towards the mat. If we need to step it in a little bit to do so, we will today. And we're going to turn, opening up into our warrior two. Arms come out to the side. We're glancing over that front hand, which is radiating light out of the knee. Good, reaching forward and reverse it to your reverse warrior. Again, glancing down at that back foot. Find what works best for your upper body. You can keep that arm lifted, or you might reach it around behind. Try to sink it down. Good. We're gonna cartwheel those arms back to warrior two. Good, we're gonna straighten that front leg and tip down into our triangle. And again, working towards the mat. But if we need to walk it back, sometimes less is more. And we can get an even deeper stretch when we back it off. Still comfortably breathing. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. We're gonna bring both hands towards the floor, frame that foot, turn that back foot, step it in, find your pyramid pose. Allow the head and neck to relax. Take a few deep breaths in here. Maybe you'd like to reach for that chest expansion. Get a little bit more balance. Pulling those shoulders down and away. Good, we're relaxing those hands back down to the floor. Framing that foot, find your plank position. A full push-up or on your knees, modified. Inhale as we slowly lower down. Keep those elbows close to our rib cage and then push it through to your upward facing dog or cobra. On the forearms, I'm in our cobra. I could come to an extended cobra or mat. His thighs are off the mat in an upward facing dog. Very nice. As we all relax, and we'll push back into either our child's pose or a downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, those toes are curled under, and we lift up our hips to the ceiling, trying to push our heels towards the mat, glancing up at the palms that they're spread nice and wide, almost like you have suction cups on your hands connected to the floor. We're gonna walk our dogs as we bend one knee and rotate to the other side. Good, feeling a good stretch. Good, as we come back to all fours, knees connect with the floor, hands underneath. We're gonna inhale the back all the way up to the ceiling for our cat, tip the chin to the chest, and exhale one vertebrae at a time as we rotate the hips and looking up at the ceiling. Good, one more time. Inhale, cat, and exhale, cow. Good, a good strengthener for our backs. Let's find a neutral spine. We're gonna come back onto those heels, and we're going to rotate around to a seated position. Again, we'll come to a seated forward fold as we inhale those arms up, exhale forward. We might have those hands on our shins, or we can do yogi toe holds with our 2 fingers around our big toes, flexing those feet and hip hinging at the hips. So again, we're not trying to race down or curl in. We're keeping that chest lifted and feel a good stretch through our hamstrings. Good. As we exhale, we're bringing the left knee in, wrapping that right arm around it, and inhaling the other arm up to the ceiling and back down and around. Good. Again, these are those twists that are good for our internal organs as well. Back to center. Allow that knee to fall open to our figure 4. Inhale up. Exhale, hip hinge forward. Notice if you found a little bit more length. And take a deep breath. On the exhale, see if you can find more space. Good. Relax back. Both feet come in for a butterfly. See if you can press those knees towards the floor. Still keeping the chest lifted. Might hold on to our ankles, and we're going to tip ear to shoulder, chin to chest, opposite ear to shoulder. Good. Relax the legs. Bring the knees together. Both feet come in front. Inhale, forward fold. Seated forward fold. Again, that's another thing I love about our warrior stretches. We can do them wherever we are, in an airplane, in a hotel room, in our dorms. For we're working from home. Good, let's bring in the opposite knee, bend it, wrap around, give it a hug, inhale up and over. Try to flex that straight-legged foot. And this time try to point that toe that's straight. Good, back to center. Allow that knee to fall to your figure four. And again, tune in, is there a difference in the right or left as we inhale up and tip it forward. Again, we moved pretty quickly today, but sometimes we need to hold these poses a little bit longer, and you can take your time. You can also build some great cardio in our practice as well. Let's go ahead and bring both feet straight out in front of us. Inhale, one more, seated forward fold. Exhale, forward. Good, as we relax and find a comfortable seated position. Maybe it's cross-legged, maybe it's one half lotus or a full. But as we finished our practice today, I want to thank you all for taking time for self-care. It is probably one of the most important things as you continue your military careers and beyond. And again, it's such an honor to be able to practice with you. If you have any questions, we would love to answer them. We hope that this is an introduction, but there are a lot of different styles and a lot of different ways to teach it, so you just have to find something that you like. So again, thank you for practicing with us today. And as we inhale one last big breath together and we come back to heart center, we'll end with, may the light shine all of you. Namaste.